almost remembered everything. Okay, here we go. Hey there, everybody. I got the cameras rolling and I forgot my paintbrush. I had to go grab it out of my backpack there. We got it now. We're ready to go. Okay, so we're gonna have some fun. Very spontaneous live stream this morning. So if you're not familiar with the Super Peer platform, you just go to this website right here. I'm streaming from that platform, so if you want to call in, see, you can talk to me. So this is forwarding to the YouTube channel at the moment, and I'll show you on my computer right here. This is a up and coming website platform that I'm using to live stream, and I have a channel on here. You can go to Joe Cornelius here, and you see if you just go to superpeer.com/MuralJoe. See if we just type a /MuralJoe in here. Let's go like this, /MuralJoe. Then it's going to go to my public page, and from there, there's an option to subscribe for free. And so, yeah, it says I'm streaming now, I'm live now, so that's fun. So you can go here if you're not already subscribed, and you'll be able to use the call-in option. If you want to come talk to me, you can do that. So that's the fun of it. Now, we've done 3 streams already, so I didn't want to do too many in a row of a painting that's really not that glamorous, but this is a hard subject, doing human faces. And so in order to train myself, I've done a lot from imagination in order to memorize the parts. And so you can very much sculpt the shapes. You know what, before I go further, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to make sure that I have a healthy stream here. See if anybody's yelling at me saying the audio is off. Hey, Teresa, good to see you. Good to see you. Rob, we got some YouTube viewers this morning because this is forwarding to YouTube from the Super Peer platform. Camilla, one of our regulars there. Good to see you. Also, not morning for you, morning for me here. Okay, things are working. And so again, those of you who are familiar and already subscribed on this platform, call in and talk to me anytime. Set the example. We're going to have some fun sculpting this face further, talking about the different little parts that can get overlooked and look funny. So I sculpted, this is where I left off. I sculpted this face using colors like this. And so I pre-mixed these, and the earlier videos are posted on this Super Peer platform. These are all recorded. So I've got colors like this. These are the 2 mid-tone colors. I'm calling both of these a mid-tone color. And I'm doing my darker shadows with this much grayer color, and then bright highlights, just adding some white. So, you know, maybe if we put them in order like this there, now the mid-tones are in the middle. And so I can sculpt a lot of the face with these. And if you think about it as sculpting, the reason I like to think about it this way is because you can use the lighter color. You can look at my face right now as an example. I apologize for putting my face in the camera, but you can see that the lightest colors come out. And this is just because it's very normal for the most outward shapes on a 3-dimensional object to have the most light. So, you know, the extreme example is you go into a cave, it gets darker, right? You go deep into an object, it gets darker. You come far out of an object, it gets lighter. And you don't have to think about the direction of the light when you're doing that. You just think about the depth. So lighter colors are out, darker colors are in. Now, with that in mind, think about the power you have to bring things forward. It's like working with a lump of clay. Oh, the forehead, it looks too flat. Okay, make it lighter, it pops out. Make it darker, chunk, it goes back. It really is that simple. That's how I've been doing this. And then the last phase of the project is adding the direct lighting. That's when I can think about, okay, what direction is the bright light? I'm going to be painting here in a moment. I'm giving you a little bit of background on what we did so far on the live streams that I've been doing for the subscribers here. Okay, so I'm going to continue using my colors mostly to work on this area that I like to call the snout, because it's kind of all this unified shape. I like to think of it as one shape, because if I focus too much on any one part, it loses balance with the others. I try to think of it all as one shape, get it to come out far enough, and then of course have the right proportions. And you can really manipulate the way a person looks. And I'll talk about the little features that are on this. Okay, so my character has a little bit of a smile, and I want that. But right now, she does not look especially human. And that's because there's some missing parts and maybe some accidentally added parts that are not serving it well, you know, and they're just not doing a great job. So I think, you know, it's probably more valuable if I get on the internet live and talk about these things than just you know, trying to do something spectacular. Take the pressure off, and let's point out my flaws here for a minute. So I didn't do so well with the details right here in the cheek. Now this is a very human quality here. It's not on so many animals. You just don't see this line on a lot of other creatures, non-human. So this when that goes completely away, well, it can just not look as normal, you know. So that line right there is real important. I'm losing some expression that I could have. It's kind of an oversimplified, artificial looking face, right? Okay, I can do that. I can also try to mess with the perspective a little bit. You know, this nostril here is, because the head is turned so much sideways, that kind of morphed into a more sideways look as I progressed. But I could probably show a little bit less of that, you know, to make the nose pop out a bit more. And then the shapes of the mouth could probably be improved. You know, I'll see what comes to me as I'm messing with that. You know, maybe I could show just a little bit of bottom teeth in there since the mouth is cracked open. So there's some things. There's some shadows. There's real important shadows in here. You can look on my face right now and see them. You know, they're always there. There's a deep spot, you know, here and here. It's not just a line. That line has certain characteristics. There's the place where that line is the deepest and darkest shadow, and then the place where it tapers off. And, you know, there's one going this way, another. So you can really break down these parts. So as I paint this face, what I'm doing is thinking about all those parts. Now, I'm also thinking that this cheek could be a little bit more gradual. I'm kind of cold starting here. I'm not feeling especially confident. So I'm gonna start with something easier at the moment and put the cheek in where it already is, and just show what I've been doing all this time. These paints were just put in the refrigerator with a lid on them in order to save them. And so I'm using pre-mixed paints, but I have earlier videos showing those. I'm letting somebody come on and talk to me right now. Give me a moment. Give me a moment, Camilla. I see you there. I'm going to give it a moment to connect. Okay, so we have the more red color of my two right here. I have this more red color and darker. So I'm using the darker as the redder color, the lighter as the little shifted toward yellow. And so I'm going to shade this cheek with those colors. So I'll put the red right here. I hear you there, Camille. Give me a second. We're not connected yet. Give me a second to turn around and connect you on the computer. So I'm going to bring the cheek down and watch how this changes the face. You know, just expanding that bright spot. It's a way of sculpting the picture to where I want it. So I'm not saying that this is the right place to have a cheek. No, I'm experimenting with the expression. Making the cheeks lower relaxes the face a little bit, just a little. The lower I make that cheek, the more relaxed the face becomes and the less it smiles. So it looks weird if you try to do a smile, but don't raise that cheek highlight. Okay, Camilla, you're waiting patiently there. Okay, I connected you. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good,
I just
thank
wanted
you.
to, do you want to moderate it today?
Yes, I do. Would you like to do that for me?
Yes, I would.
Okay, your microphone just got very quiet. I'm not sure why.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Mhm.
something got in front of it or something. I
So
don't know. It was
you
loud when
can't.
you first started. It got a
Okay.
little louder right there.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
That's because
Yeah.
I'm talking louder.
Okay. Yeah, maybe there's some programming compressing your audio or something. I don't know.
Or
Okay,
maybe
my
I'll
brush is a
just
little goofy.
I'll just go and pick up my headphones. Maybe that's better. I think. Just
Ah,
a
maybe
sec.
that's a yeah, maybe that's. But
Yeah.
I can hear you. You doing good this morning?
Sorry.
Just talk to me when you get back.
Yep. I will.
Okay. Okay. So right here, I am going to try to make this line a little bit more. To me, that's already a little bit of improvement, but I'm going to try to doctor it a touch more.
What was
So
that better?
yes, that's better. That is
Okay.
better. Okay, so this line's going to have a shape to it. It's going to be a little bit of a tapered, wider in the middle, tapers as it goes to both sides. But I don't want that line to uh, just keep going across like this and fade into that shadow. I'm going to take a little bit of my lighter color right here, just a touch. That we're getting into the real teensy details on this now. So I'm going to take this white, and that's probably more than I want. And I'm going to use more of the red here because it's the cheek. I want some red in the cheeks and make this shape, okay, slightly darker than what's up here, slightly darker. And then I come down and taper that line out, make it not quite as pronounced right there so that I can make both lines. So there's a couple of important lines. There's the one that goes down below the lips and the one that stays above it. Now those lines are not the only thing that creates a smile. It's the relationship of the cheeks to, when you compare the height of the brightest part of the cheeks, that's the part that pops out. So that kind of gives us an indication of how bunched up those cheeks are. So again, if I turn around to the camera and I go like this, look, see the bright spots? And when I relax, then you just see my skull. You see my bone. If I had a fatter face, this wouldn't be so concave here, and you might just see soft highlights dropping down further. Maybe if I look up, you see mine are divided in two, but it's not like that on it's like that on skinnier people, divided on two. And so mine are way out here because I'm just such a low body fat build, but that shadow, I could put that in here right now and get a much, it would just be a face more like mine. It would just have the divide and look like a much skinnier face. Okay, so I think this is an improvement. I've got that line more visible now instead of just a smooth color, just a gradual. So I got the basic shapes in first, and then I went to the little more accuracy on it. Okay, what I'd also like to do now is make sure, since I have chosen that the light is coming from this side, you can see by the shadow I put on the hair. Actually, I'm gonna adjust that right now. Let's put a little bit of white right in here. Anything new happening there in Denmark, Camilla?
Well, not really. Apart from the weather is just crap.
Oh,
It's
really?
it's
Like in
been
what way? What's
it's
bad weather?
it's been raining from July until now.
Really? You're
Yeah.
not such a big fan of the rain, huh?
No, because we
Mm,
have that so much during the year
yeah.
normally.
Well, yeah, from July until now, that's a lot of rain. We get real
That is a
excited
lot of
about
rain.
rain here, but it's only because we don't get a lot.
Yeah. Well, in June we didn't get any rain, and then suddenly it just changed. But
Oh, played catch up.
yeah.
I see. Yeah, yeah, caught up. Okay, so you can just take these colors once you have them pre-mixed and you can sculpt, so to speak. I'm just calling it that because I'm popping that forehead out, creating a shadow of the hair. You know, what I did was I shifted the light source a little more toward me, shining, because if that shadow is real long, it would make the light a little more behind. So I kind of am imagining it coming straight sideways instead of like from behind. Boy, that hair needs work, doesn't it?
Yes.
I'm gonna wait on that one though. I'm gonna get the face dialed in a little better. Okay, so what I want to do now is get this one adjusted. So I've got some real, I've got some real rough. This is a great first pass on it, but it can really be improved. So I'm going to use my more red color right in here for the cheek. If this were oil based, it would indeed be so much easier. And I'm going to push that in because I'm going to shrink the nostril back a little bit. I'm going to push this in and get a more pronounced shadow on that cheek. Now this curve is very common. There's a very universal thing, the way this curves. So it's a tiny shape, but we're sensitive to tiny shapes on faces. So it goes out and then down again above the lips. You see it's kind of this little bit of an S shape. So you'll see that when you're looking at a person from the side, you'll see go out then down again. That little curve is, I wouldn't bother talking about it if it wasn't such a universal thing. So if you just get a straight line there, there's exceptions to everything. You might find someone's face that is that exception. Gosh, maybe I should look in a mirror and see if mine is. It's very common. That's the point, is that it's very common. So now here's my more yellowish of the two midtones. I just now put that on. I didn't flash down to my materials, but I just put this color on for the higher part of the cheek and then went to pure white to highlight it. And then it's the blending. Maybe you can, I don't know if it's easy to see technique on that angle. There, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. But the light is very
so I'll just use this to show my brush.
Yeah,
I'll flip back to the other. So this is my brush technique. I've got my hand rested because my hands are not steady, and I'm going to go right up here and use this light color to capture the. And here's a tiny bit of that the yellower of the two midtones. Tiny bit. I'm going to use that to soften, make this not quite as white. Okay, and then I cut out the lower eyelid shape. And that wraps up around the eye. It goes kind of behind the eye right there. The cheek highlight will come up this way, like this. And then we'll come down here. Okay, my paint's starting to dry, so I don't have a whole lot of time. Let's pull this down and get a soft gradient down to that cheek. There you go. Now it kind of looks real bunched up there. And I need to make sure I get enough of that lighter color toward the nose, because here I have light hitting. So I'm going to flip-flop. Now that I've sculpted my face with general lighting, now I can start considering the direct light on this nose. So it's going to go like this. This shadow is facing toward a light. So that's actually going to be a brighter color. Now it's fun when you can flip-flop the lights and shadows without changing the face, because really what makes the face is the three-dimensional form, not where the light and shadow is coming from. Well, unless someone shines a flashlight up their chin. I noticed it's hard to see who somebody is when they do that. There's exceptions.
Yeah, but it can be so hard to make those soft transitions you have to do in a face, I think.
Yes. Okay. So you are right. That is a very good point to talk about. So those soft transitions I find to be easier when I am very fluent at drawing them, because when I do that, I can picture first the boundary area of the shape that I want to put light or shadow. I can picture that boundary area, and then I can put the one color inside of it, then the second color inside of it. Once I get the two colors I intend to blend inside of that boundary, then it's just a couple strokes between them. But if you're unsure about where that is, then it's much more difficult. So practice drawing these parts over and over has been a big help to me in that way. Okay, for example, there's a boundary area that I want to capture. on this. The light's coming sideways, and I know that that boundary area is going to have a curve right in here. You know, it's going to have a soft curve into the upper underside of the brow. So we're going to curve in here, and then it's going to do a gentle curve down past the eye, leaving a dark concave right here at the corner of the eye. Now I'm going to put white right in the middle of that for the brighter part that's emerging further out into the light, and it's just a line down. Now I'm going to rinse my brush and hit the edges to get that shape to be softly blended. So it looks like just the kind of random organic soft shapes. You look at a photo and you think, man, my only hope of doing a picture like this is to copy that photo, because you don't recognize these patterns. But if you're real familiar with them, then that can change. You can recognize those patterns. Okay.
So
now I've got
Leanne has a comment. Leanne has a comment. I like the changes Joe has made. I wonder still if the chin on a typical woman's face would be smaller.
Yes, the answer is yes to that. So that's on the to-do list, and good job for recognizing that. That is a commonly missed proportion there. So what I did, I just bridged that gap. You know, sometimes a couple lines are enough. We don't always see every single edge of every single part. You include enough to get the story told, you know. So as long as the information that is there is telling the right story, a picture doesn't need a lot of information. Okay, so on that note, I'm going to finish up these cheeks and go down to the chin, because was that Patricia that just said that? Who just said that?
No, that was Leanne, but Patricia agrees.
Leanne just okay. Leanne thinks okay, but Patricia does agree. Hey, yeah. I remembered some names. Okay, good. I'm getting them confused. Okay, you know, my mom and my dad. I think more my mom than my dad, probably because she was the one at home having to call our names all the time. I have 4 brothers, and so there were 5 names to remember.
She always yes. called you something else.
Well, and you know, there's something that happens when you get the name wrong at the beginning. The second one is also wrong. There's something that happens. It sends you down a list. It must be like programming. And so for some reason, you can't land on the right name until you've named them all. And you can tell me if you think that's not true, but I think all the moms out there will understand exactly what I'm saying.
Yes, my friend, she always does the same.
Yeah, she'd say, hey, Johnny, Joe, Pete. Pete, stop doing that. Yes, that was it. Okay, so I think that kind of just happened in my brain. All right, I'm brightening up this cheek. You know, this is called, you know, messing with the small stuff. But a face is built out of many small things. So I'm trying to maintain the same shapes I already have, being mindful of the colors darkening as they dry, and just softening. I'm in that stage where I'm trying to soften them. It's not super easy with fast drying paint, but I'm liking the way it's going so far. Okay, I need to do work with what I'm calling the snout, and of course we're going to shrink the chin. So let's work on that. I can make a neck. Now let me see what would be a good direction to point this neck. Let's see. The head is kind of tilted this way, looking this way, and so I think it would look good. Yeah, we'll just go straight down. You know, like in a look of intrigue, of excited interest, just a slightly tilted head. Now, the neck will come up, attach under that ear, and if I want it to look...
I think you should go a little bit down with the camera.
Oh, my bad. Thank you for telling me.
You're so welcome.
How's that one?
That's better.
That's better. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to put the neck where it goes first. We'll just cut this in right here. We'll go down like this. Next, it's easy to make a neck too wide. You know, necks on young people and less muscly people can be very skinny. Not that skinny though. That's very skinny. So I'm going to gradually make this wider. right here. Let's go there. Let's go a little more, maybe right there. We'll go a little bit more. You see, it's just trial and error. I don't have like some exact measurements, but I know to be careful about wideness. If I want to maintain a very childlike or feminine look, then I want to be careful about the wideness of that neck. Okay, so we'll go there, and then it's going to have a slope on it that comes down. After it goes down there, it'll start to slope the other way, and it'll come down further here. I don't even know what kind of clothing might be on that, so we'll just do a neck for now. Now, I want a shadow. I want to shrink the chin. So let's take this shadow color that I have right in here.
I think you should make a green blouse or something. It will fit
to
her eyes.
Oh, okay. So that shadow, I just sliced off a little bit of the chin there. I just sliced off a little bit because you are right. How far down that chin comes. It's not just how far down the chin comes. I've noticed this and done a lot of trial and error with drawings to try to pinpoint these characteristics. And it's the overall look of jawbone size. That's what it does. So sometimes you see more of that size on the corners of the jaw. Sometimes you see more of that size on the height of the chin. But altogether, we just want the general look of a smaller jawbone. And so usually the quickest path to that is just bring the chin up. But if I were to have this chin going out real far, that might not be enough. I might shrink the corners in as well in order to get the amount. There's not a right proportion. I always have to be careful about these things. We don't want to start pointing to something as the proportion of a person. No, it's just each change has its effect. And so as an artist, we want to be able to manipulate those effects.
Yeah, and that little change you just made, that really helped, I think.
Okay, good. And look at what a tiny change it was. I mean, I went up, probably as much as my dirty old thumbnail end right there. It was very
2 millimeters or something.
It's just so small. Yeah. How easy is it for you to convert from metric to the American standard or the US?
That's I can't do that.
That's hard. Yeah, I find it hard.
I have to Google it every time.
Yeah. Man, that's on my list of things to get good at. I want to be quick at.
But it's also because it's like two times 0.36 or something like that. You have to multiply it or something. I mean, it's not that easy.
It's not simple. Right. I understand. Well, I know that, it's approximately 2 centimeters, but it's a little more than 2 centimeters in an inch. But I would much rather just have everybody go metric. That would just be so much easier.
Yeah, but 1 centimeter is 0.3937 inches. So that's like.
Oh, you just looked it up. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, good job, thank you. Okay, so here I'm going to do a neck part. This is the light coming sideways and catching so when I get darker, I want to use my redder color. Generally, I want to go, and so this is what we've been talking about for this whole project, is making, not losing color in the transition. So if I blend straight from this light color to the shadow, I lose color and it looks like a zombie. There's no skin tone. So to get the look of skin tone, as the color gets darker, I move toward my darker mixed red color. As it gets lighter, I move toward my more gold right here. And so I can take this more gold color and I can put that big tenon that goes up right there, points up toward under the ear right there. But it's subtle. If I make it real extreme, then it's probably going to look strange. So this slight change of shadow right here. See, I just put a hard shadow, like the shadow of the chin coming across the neck. Now I'm sculpting the soft shadow. So we're going to go here for the throat. See that little bit of darker, redder color? That gets the side of the throat. And then we'll move to that darker, redder color as we go to the right into the shadow as well. And so this whole face was sculpted by graduating from the lighter, more gold to the darker, more red on my way to any shadows. So now I could put the shadow over here touching this more red color. And what that will do once it's all blended is give me the look of a shadow blending softly to a highlight, but without losing color. Okay, but I need to darken it. I need to darken all of it right here because I have that shadow of this chin. So let's just blend these all together. We don't want a sharp line there. We want a soft change. This might take a little bit of messing with. Let's soften it still right there. We don't need so much of that sharp line because, you know, maybe the light is just right here. So I'm going to make this softer, softer, softer. Like that. There we go. You know, maybe just the slightest bit of a line right there. Now it's starting to look like whiskers. When it starts to look like whiskers, that's because there's just not enough color in that shadow as it's transitioning, because, you know, we lose color and there's like this grayer tone when you have that. So as long as I get that look of blood-filled skin tone, okay. We're going to put that in there. It's going to look weird for a while. I need it to dry so that I can manipulate it further. So we'll pull off of that section for just a little bit, come back to it. Here on the throat, I need something between my red and white. So this is where I'm graduating from the more, the darker, redder mid-tone to the lighter, more gold mid-tone. And those two colors in between light and shadow is how you magically get the look of skin that is alive and not the very gray look of the zombie look. Okay, now I'm going to put that same tendon going up there. I'm going to put going across here. So I'm going to get just a slight line that comes right through here. It's just a little, you know, kind of like the very subtle lines that I need in the face. This line is hardly anything at all, but there is a turn, a change of angle here that I want to represent. So we'll go there. Then as we go left, we're going to go here. What I'm painting right now is this, you know, you can, oh yes, I'm a very good example of it. Look, I've got these tendons. Okay, so this one comes up behind here. I did this one. And then, you know, we can see those tendons. So this shadow, okay, I'm looking in the camera. This shadow right here that goes up the side. See, we can just slightly see that tendon going up the other side. So sometimes that, you know, if a neck is real soft and round, it might be as simple as just putting an angle of a different color on there. You know, if so, you just decide on your person that you're sculpting how much that needs to be there. But it is a part that we want to consciously put in there. Okay, so I went slightly redder, darker there, and now I'm going to go lighter as it comes out like this onto the, just starting to come out onto the shoulder. That's going to go like this, and just be a line that comes up here, defines where the throat is. There we go. The neck is beginning to look natural, like that. Okay. Now I'll let that dry, and I'm going to make the chin a little bit less square still. So maybe what I'll do is put some, you know, I love this red hair kind of flipping around. I think maybe I'll use that in the background instead of the blue to kind of slice off the edge of this face. So let's go here, put some orange and black on my palette here so that I can get that red hair. That's how I mix that. And then I used some yellow to highlight it. This is where I'm using primaries to get much bolder colors here. I might as well put it where the yellow already is. It's just that when I do that, I forget where the dry one and the wet one is. I look at it and I accidentally hit the dry paint. How come it's not going on my brush? Okay, so we go over here and let's start chopping away, cutting this chin down to size with some black and some orange that I'm going to turn into the hair right here. Like this, just a little bit. It's a tiny bit. I'm going to get more of my orange. And we're going to go down here. Is the angle good on that camera still, Camilla?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so we take this color down there. I'm trying to keep my lines smooth around those. Let's do a little bit of hair floating down like this, like that. There we go. Yeah. That's starting to look a little bit softer, a less chiseled, less masculine form there. Yes. What do you think? What do you think on chin size?
I like it.
Okay,
it's better, definitely. Maybe even a little bit more.
Maybe even a little more. Let's try it. Let's just see what happens here. Let's put a little bit of shadow here to take this, because these are also defining it. These define the face. So if I bring this shadow in,
that helps.
This will also shrink it. Let's take this in like this. And that's my redder of the two mid-tones, a little bit more red. Here's the shadow color. I'm going to put that right there, and we're going to just barely shrink this chin down to get that a little bit less of a Batman chin.
Yep.
The old comic.
That helps.
Okay, good. Now that's pretty dark. I think I'll go ahead and bump up the color of this shadow a bit with this red. It's not quite as dark. Just bring this whole thing up here like this. There we go. Color between light and shadow. This may be, I don't know what the most important piece of this is, but it may be that. I suppose it's whatever is the biggest struggle for you. But this is a super important thing. Shadow between the light and the dark helps to maintain the look of skin and not unwanted things like accidentally getting a person look like they have whiskers when they don't. You know, that's annoying. So color between light and shadow is a big help with that. Okay, I'm going to graduate from the more red color to the more gold color to round this chin out a little bit more. Red color to the gold color. And I'm going to put my white on top of that more gold color. Now this is going to show how far out the chin comes. So that's going to come out further if it's brighter. And it's nice to have that shadow that kind of relaxes the lower lip when you get a good shadow under it like that. Okay. Now the difference in these values in here, this maybe is the last thing I'll work on this video, is being real careful with gradually changing these shadows where I want spots to go deeper or shallower. So I'm going to get a little darker toward the right side in order to bend these in, take those in. Remember, darker colors go in, lighter colors come toward me. And so I'm going to take the lighter right here, get this lip shape. I'm going to make this lip a little more gradually curved right there. It's kind of cornered like that, a little bit square. So I'm going to take it right here, add my shadow color. Here's my red, and I'm going to put this under that lip. It's going to get slightly lighter as it comes up to this higher part. We'll see what that looks like when it dries. In here is a little bit light. You know, I want my bright light to be on this side, and that's popping this forward. That's getting me a little bit of an unwanted upper lip shape. So I'm going to take these colors and darken them right here. Okay, so I've done this just a number of times to become familiar with these parts. And so one of those little tiny things that I notice is this is concave. So I'm going to make this little shape. This is a boundary area that I'm going to make. See this little kind of triangular pocket in here. I'm going to make slightly darker so that that concave as it goes toward the corner of the mouth. Just a little bit. Okay. So the reason doing all of these little differences in shadows is not as overwhelming for me is because I'm kind of seeing a geometrical, simple boundary area that just has very blurry edges, rather than seeing a very hard to define blurry spot. You know, I see it as the boundary area. Okay, now I'm going to make this lighter as it goes this way. And since the light is coming this direction, I'm going to do a lighter spot on this part of the lip. You know, because this is that concave. So we'll go lighter on that side. Every edge that is facing this way, we'll go a little lighter on. And we better stretch that out to be consistent with the high spots of the lips. Okay, so let's go like that. And let's not make that so extremely different right there. Also, let's go a little bit less extreme on the contrast right here and add some white. So I'm taking all of the more extreme shapes I started with and just making them less extreme. And that whole process is less overwhelming if I can see those as simple geometric shapes with blurred, soft edges. That's there.
Leanne says, wow, amazing difference with such a minor change.
Oh, thank you. So I concaved this area. I just pushed it in with darker colors to get a little more three-dimensional. That change, I'm assuming, is the one we're talking about. Maybe she's seen another one in there, but.
And Ganja is saying, just what I needed to know, Joe. Thank you.
Okay, sweet. I'm happy to hear that. Okay, so I'm going to try to doctor this little. See how this is dark right here? So that's another, just how dark it gets, how bright it gets is creating a three-dimensional toward me, away from me look. So this spot feels a little bit off because it's suddenly dark right there. And I can again doctor that balance of values in order to sculpt this and make it a slightly smoother structure there. So let's take the gold color. Go ahead.
Can I want to ask if you're watching from YouTube, will you be able to watch the replay?
Just subscribe on SuperPeer. It's free. And so you can, there is a paid option, but you don't need it to watch this video because this video is marked as free for everyone. Some videos I'm posting only, a lot of the videos are posted only for the paid subscribers, but this one and several others over the course of our SuperPeer schedule have been free. So just subscribe. And then hopefully after you subscribe, I can convince you to start paying so that I make some money.
Yeah, and it's good value for the money, I would say.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. But I'm not at all offended if you don't do that. Okay. So I'm going to take these same shadows. So this lower line is right here. The line is there, but once again, it can have very blurred edges. So I'm going to take the white and start blurring these edges. So just like the lines on the cheeks, there's a line on the lower cheek that is between the cheek and the piece under the lower lip. So I'll highlight that one, highlight this one, and then just make the shadow in between very soft. Not a big extreme change. So we're just blending that shadow into almost not a shadow at all. See that? So how extremely, now on faces, a tiny bit goes a long way. We really see tiny value changes. So you can get the likeness of a person with value changes, just a few. As long as the information isn't wrong, it doesn't need a lot of information. It just needs the information that's there to be accurate, to capture the likeness of a person. So I'm saying that because subtleties are powerful when you're doing a human face. They're very, very big difference makers. Okay. I'm just trying to reblend my same colors more softly. I've got lots of water on my brush, and then I just barely poke the tip. See how much white is on that? It's just barely on that little tip. And that's going to be enough for me to come in here and go like this, leaving a tiny bit of shadow still under the cheek, coming over here like this. Now I'm going to go to the inside of that. See how that gets instantly bright? That can be improved by casting a little bit of shadow off of that cheek. So we're going to go like this, blend the other way now. So here my geometric shape, I just put it down with this red mid-tone. See, now I have that hard line again. I'm going to go to my more gold mid-tone, put that down next. Right here. I got the two lines. Now I'm going to go to my white, and I'm just going to put the white on the right side where the gold is, right here. Now I'll clean my brush. So I just go down here, do a quick little rinse, wipe on the towel, and then I'm going to come up here and do soft strokes to blur these lines. See? So this color is going to gradually go into the white. It'll match what's right there. Okay, and then if I have too much of that light color in my brush, I can just wipe it off, get that color out of there. And then this one is going to blend into that. The lines are just getting a little bit more blurred. I can probably leave it right there. Okay, I'm going to take the shadow over this corner. This corner goes up and above the nostril, casts a little shadow. So I don't want that bright color to go too high. Right over here by the nostril. We kind of go over that way. So see the subtle relationships of light and shadow on the snout are big difference makers, and I'm just gradually forming them to what would be, what we talked about at the beginning of this is what you consider to be average. You, the artist, you have an average face in your mind, and so every face will be compared. Okay, forgive me if this sounds theoretical. It is, but I'm proposing that when you see a face, you instantly compare it to what is for you average, which is going to be different for us depending on what we see the most.
Yeah,
and that's I compare that. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's why, for example, if you're in Africa, I was in Africa for half a year. The first month you think everyone looks like each other. But after 2 months,
it's hard to tell
you can
yeah.
easily know them from each other. So
there you go. Yeah, I think that's an excellent example. So because your running average changes with every person you see, and then you start to get tuned to the differences within that. So then you're comparing to a new middle. You're comparing to a new average when you see somebody.
And a lot of Africans thought that white people look totally like each other.
Yes, and if you think about it, there are very universal qualities. So for us, growing up around other white people, we're like, oh, that's silly. We look totally different. But think about it. I can identify some really distinct differences. Deep eye sockets. Look how deep and dark my eye sockets are. Look up a picture of a black man. You will see eye sockets not as deep. And you'll see some smoother features in this way. So when you see the deep zombie-like eye sockets, that has a European white ethnicity association. The deep Asian people, the eye sockets are not deep. So imagine, you're Asian, you're accustomed to the average of eye sockets that are not very deep, and then you're seeing all these white people, and every single one of them has like deep zombie eyes.
Yeah. Well,
right, so the average has to change.
Ganja has a question. Can you tell me what mix of colors you're using?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I made these colors with orange, yellow, and I used green as a gray and black at the same time. So this is what I mean by that. On this color, I needed this to be more gray. It was easier just to add the opposite color, phthalo green, but I could easily have done it with black and white. But that was 2 colors, this was 1 color. So this is just a slightly grayed version of orange and white. So I mixed these with white, and that's how I get an ordinary flesh tone. Now this could be a dark-skinned person or a light-skinned person. I use the same colors, but just push them darker or lighter. I would add less white to it if it was a dark-skinned person. Okay, so this one just has a higher amount of the yellow when I added these. This one has a higher amount of the orange. This particular orange, this would be like the more red orange. If you were using tubes of acrylic paints, this one is, just look for one that's leaning more to the red side of orange. You can see it right here. I used this to do like red lava on a painting a couple days ago on our live stream. So this one has the same colors, just a different ratio. It has a little bit more of this green to darken it more. It has less of the white also to darken it more. And then it has a larger amount of the orange than it does the yellow. So you just use your judgment to get one mid-tone. These 2 colors have the most color. The shadow color can be anything that you want to look like your light source. You know, like maybe you have a green background, you make it greener. Maybe you have a red background, you make it redder. But this color usually is less saturated. It's just my far shadow color. And on the painting, that's used here. It's used here. So it's my shadow color that's got a little bit of my blue light on it. And I just made that with black and white and a little bit of the orange. So that was enough to give me kind of a purpley color. I may have added a little magenta. The video is recorded, but the idea is visually you see something slightly more purple than the others and visibly more gray. And of course it's darker because it's the shadow. And this is just white. You can put any color highlight, any color shadow. The real important thing is these most vivid colors always separating the light and the shadow, always in between so that you don't get the zombie look. Okay, now we can go up here and do a few final touches. I'm about out of time, but there are some things that can still make this space look more natural. It would be fun to do a little bit of hair on this as well, wouldn't it?
Yes.
That. What do you think? Let's go.
It's a beautiful red hair.
Okay, thank you. So all I did was black and orange, you know, and high contrast can get you that very reflective look on here. High contrast. So I'll put black like this. I'm going to put color, you know, any bend of hair that's all going the same direction. I can just put a bright spot that cuts across it like this, you see. So I do a bright spot right there. Then I do a more yellow, just like the skin. As I get brighter, I get more yellow. And this is 2 more vivid midtones inside of being surrounded by my darker colorless black. Okay, there's my reflection zone. So as it gets brighter, it gets yellower, and I'm purposely not mixing it all the way so that I can get the look of hair. And then I'll take a little bit of white and go right across the middle. That's probably too much. Let's do a little stroke right there. Let's do a little stroke again. Oh, I'm trying to keep it's hard to keep the angle the same. There we go. That's a little better. My technique's a little messy. Let's see if we can do the next one better. Black right there. Coming out of the black, I'm going to do some orange. And to get the backlit look, I did the same thing, orange to yellow to white. They don't have to be pure orange, pure yellow, pure white. It doesn't have to be that. It's the pattern of color change that matters. Okay, let's do this again. Black moves to the orange, like this. Okay, and then here, let's do a little bit more, I don't need quite that much black in there. It's probably more extreme than I need. So I'm just putting more orange. My orange is my most red color in this pattern. That's the color that's going to go down and touch the shadow. Okay, now as it gets brighter, we're going to go yellow right here. So as it gets brighter, it graduates to a more gold tone. Here, let's put some in here and restore that. Okay, then let's go to the little bit of white. I just need a teensy bit on the very tip of my brush, probably more than that. Right here, this will be that little bit of reflection going across. You see, so this reflective look is done with that pattern, the high contrast and that specific graduation of colors that moves toward the orange as it goes into the shadow, toward the yellow as it goes to the light. It's just toward, it's not complete. It's not like complete orange or complete yellow. It's kind of fun when you do hair in clumps because you can, I just wanted to see if that was wet. You can do one section cutting right across another. You know, let's put a section going right through this spot like that and just see what happens. Let's go orange right here like this, coming out of that shadow. That's kind of fun. And then I'll bend that down right here with the other pieces of hair. And then I'll put a little more orange. Let's get brighter on the hair color. Kind of bend the angle down. Then I'll put my little yellow strip on there. Again, I'm not trying to make yellow hair. It's just this area has the most yellow. And then, you know, if I go over too many times, I lose the grain. There is a balancing act of not going over it too many times. So I end up with a lot of redos on here because I'll not quite get the colors right. And then I'll think, oh, I got to go back, do it again. But it's fast drying paint. You can do it as many times as you need to. Okay. I'm going to go black up in here and use a little more of that orange to come down like this. So what is this person looking at? Okay. You know, I thought it'd be kind of fun to do like, you know, maybe some fun sunlit leaves in here. Watch this. This will be kind of fun effect you can do real quick. Do some, you know, maybe just in like a butterfly sanctuary or something. I don't know. There's some fun bright leaves. I'm just doing some bright colored yellows. But look, wherever these overlap, this is a very quick impressionistic technique. But I can come back with another color. Let's first make these green. You know, let's put just a teensy little touch of blue. I want very yellow color in order to look like light shining through. So let's put blue. I think I changed subjects like so recklessly. I wasn't aiming to do leaves just now, but it just came to me. So sorry for the hard subject change. All right, blue.
It's still about light and shadow, right?
Yeah, same pattern. And what's fun is seeing that here as well, I move toward the yellow in order to get more light illuminating from within. You know, when you want light, not just reflecting off like a mirror, but actually coming from beneath the surface of something, you shift those highlights toward yellow as you intensify the brightness. Okay, so that color is very yellow. Let's put just a touch. The blue just makes it so green so fast. It takes just the tiniest bit. So we're going to make some green. We're going to get some glowing leaves. And then what I'll do is I'll just put a darker color right over a darker and less yellow color where they overlap. So that will be fun. So let's go down here and take black, yellow. Okay, and there's a little blue in there, see this, but I want to use black so that I don't have the intensity. Get rid of some intensity. And then I'm going to come up here. Now see, here's an overlap. Let's just go like this. We'll continue this edge right here, down there, and continue this edge here, like that, and create a overlap in there. Let's do another one. Make an overlap there, And now there's a leaf behind a leaf. Let's do another overlap right in here. Let's go. Like that. Let's do another one right here. There, see, I'm just putting dark spots. So now we've got like overlapping leaves. So you can do this real fast. You know, you don't have to be careful. I'm just showing how that works. You can just put a whole bunch of quick brush strokes in and get a fun look that way. Here, let's put one of these leaves kind of folded over. Let's get this dark color and go like this. There you go. Now that one's kind of maybe dipping a little bit like that. I don't know. Let's just put a few simple strokes on, put some darker leaves coming down. You know, just looking at something fun. Okay. Now, last thing I'm going to do is work on this eye. So eye sockets also have all these little parts, you know. So understanding the parts goes a long way. I'm going to put a lighter color right here. There's kind of an oval of lighter area that pops out, and you can see it on my, you know, I'll get close and show you on mine. Do you see how on mine there's a spot of skin? If you were to draw a line around a lighter spot, let's face toward the light, you know, well, my deep European eye sockets aren't the best for this.
It's not that obvious on you, Joe.
It's not. I'm getting old and my eyes sink deeper with every year I get older. Okay, we're gonna go like this. And we're going to bend this gradually away from the light as it goes toward this, because the eyes are rounded like this. And so this soft bit of skin above the eye has this gradual change of brightness. Now I'm going to gradually make it lighter still with a little touch of white on the golder color. And it's going to make
your eye a little bit smaller.
Oh, okay. Well, I also lost the upper eyelid. And so we'll go like this. There we go. Now the eye socket is not as deep. So this is something that's visible on some people, not others. I wanted to have her eyelids visible, and I just lost that. So I'm going to try to get it back. I'm going to put the darker line right here. I'll just do it with the redder color of the two. This is the wrinkle between the brow and the eyelid. So we put the redder line there. Then I'm going to take the more gold and barely put a little gold line. See, I even do the gradient on these teensy tiny little things. Okay, now I'm going to put the more gold color also under that red line I just did, right there. Okay. Okay. You know, Dave brought up a real good comment, like, what if you're painting a mural? You need to do a lot of people. I don't recommend doing this kind of detail. You saw that
Nope.
when it's real tiny, these things just disappear. And so, you know, this goes back to the point that you don't need a lot of information. What you need is the information that you choose to add to look well done. That's what you need.
It also depends where the person is in the mural, right? If it's right in front, you can do all the details, but
yes, yeah, that's true. So, you know, you can leave out so much when you're doing a stadium. You know what? That'd be a fun video to make, is how to do a stadium full of people. That would be a fun one.
That would be, yeah, I would like that.
Okay, so I just barely have a little line there. And now I'm going to restore the red line that is the shadow right against the eyeball right here. So that line came up like this, like that. It's visible to about right there. And then the black lines were just they were the eyelids, or the eyelashes, wrong word, eyelashes. Okay, blend those. So there, now I've got the shadows softened there, and now I need to repair the eyelashes. But what I'm also going to do is put a bit more shadow. This is just this color in here. I'm going to put that right under here, and then add white to get darker shadow on the top of the whites of the eyes, because I want those to not be white, but to be gray. and I need a darker gray to get them to look like a believable amount of shadow. So see, I'm gradually lightening this, but I don't want to go too far. Like this, let's go like that. Keep it darker than the little reflection spot. Okay. There, see that gray in there? So that's important. That gray is very important to get a three-dimensional, relaxed looking eye. If you go too bright on the whole eye, you get this real excited look that doesn't feel very natural. You know, it just looks like there's way too much light hitting the whites of the eyes. So I'm going to try to blend those.
It looks cartoonish.
Yeah, there you go. Looks cartoonish. So I keep the whites of the eyes dark enough that I don't get that. And then of course, you know, there's the little reddish colored corners if you want to, but there's all of these details, but hopefully this is enough just to be informative. We just want to make a good video this morning. Can't get to everything. I wish I could. All right, I'm going to take more of this dark shadow and go down like this, like that. Get the curve of the eye down, just making a shadow with that eye curve, keeping the more red colored corner of the eye. Right there, I'm going to try to blend that gradually into the white of the eye so it's not a super funny look. See, it's just little, this is how I do details with a big brush. I use these angled brushes that have the little teensy point on them. See, and then I can just do these little touches as I rest my hand on the painting. But sometimes I'm not successful. Okay, I'm just trying to get, I'm being a perfectionist with the white of the eye right here. Okay, I got the shadow at the top. Now I'm going to blend down right here. Here, I'll show you what I'm working on. Trying to get, let's go in here and go like this. Oh, too bright again. I waited too long. We got to get the right brightness. So the brightness of those parts of the eyes is you know, again, a big difference maker. It's worth paying attention to. You don't want to get those too bright. You'll get.
What would you do if she was going to have a tear in her eye?
Oh, just paint a
if
tear.
she got wet eyes, it actually looks kind of a little bit wet.
Yeah, real. Oh yeah,
it's
so sparkly. Yeah, I'll show you where some of that goes. Here, let me real quick put the eyelashes back in place.
Yeah.
Because there's like eyelashes on one eye and not the other, and that's kind of a strange look. So yeah. let's get that addressed. Okay, I've got plenty of water on my brush. I'm just dabbing this black paint to really get a sharp edge. I'm going to do my best. I'm not so good at eyelashes. Those are hard. I'll do my best. A little curved line like this. Ugh. I'm just trying to make little swoopy curves on these, you know. Probably a better brush would be a good idea. Okay, we'll call that good. Oh man, I tried my best. I tried my best for that. So if you have trouble with any part of the painting, you can feel a little better and laugh at me here. There, and soften those. You know, is it just a little bit of we'll call it a suggestion of eyelashes. It's just a suggestion. All right, let's put the.
It looks good from here.
Okay, good. Shadows on the top of the eyeball, real important. You know, I just want to stress the importance of shadows on the top of the eyeball. Okay, now, man, are those eyes green or what?
Yeah,
I like it. And look, I can make them a little bit friendly. You know, well, I can just change the pupil size. I actually don't know what difference it's going to make. Let's do that. Oh, yeah, it's kind of a less laser focused look, isn't it? Yeah. Just make them slightly bigger. Okay, then I'm going to The roundness of them is definitely not great, but I'm just going to leave that. We're just going to settle for not so round. Not so round eyes. There's a lot about this picture I think could be better, but we're having fun. Okay. Let's do a couple more things, then be done. You were talking about water on the eyes. So I also want to do a small adjustment on the lips. So before I'm done today, we'll get a little bit of extra red to do something to those. Now, on the eyes, if you want to put water, we'll just get pure white. Here's a nice little trick, is just getting pure white and putting a reflection spot right between the eyeball and the eyelid on the lower lid. So I can put a little reflection spot right here, just right there. See that little dot?
Yeah.
That little spot of white is a great place, because if the eye's more wet, the water settles and then catches reflection where it bridges that little, there's a little
like
river
a wave.
there. So this,
yeah.
Yes. So this makes watery eyes, not tears. You go a little spot right there. There we go.
Yeah.
Seeing that?
I see that.
Right. And that definitely adds emotional quality to the picture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do tears in another video, because I think that the subtleties of water beads is a whole subject in itself. But a water bead coming down. So I've done it on, you can do it on paintings of beer bottles and soda cans and glass of wine. I still have that painting. Same effect here, where we just gently make a value change, outlining the teardrop coming down from the corner. And it's barely different than the skin tone, but those little differences along a hard line, and then with the different colored patterns. So you can watch videos on making beads of water on glass or other things that will be the same. And this, maybe I'll save this, maybe we'll do that on this painting in a later video. I just am predicting that I won't be able to finish that if I start. And I want to do this. I want to put this slightly redder color. I added a little red to this color. I took this color, added a little red to it, and I'm going to use this as a shadow under the lips. So we'll go here, and we'll make these lips feel a bit more natural by putting a shadow on them. So let me get some black and red to get a darker color. So this is a mix of black and red again, right here. Black, I just put a little black and a little bit of red right here in this teeny spot. Let me try that color out. And I'm going to get a shadow here. So when you don't have any gradients, you don't have any angle change, right? So when we need a change of angle, such as the lips being three-dimensional and going into the mouth, then we need to have a gradient going to a darker color. So I'm going to put a gradient coming out from the bottom and out from the top, like that. See? And then I'll put the lighter color next to it, like this lighter color, get the more red. Now this is the color without the black. And we're going to come in here and blend it. It's still got a little red added to it for the lips. And I'm going to try to make a gradient here. But these are very tiny spots, and sometimes that gradient doesn't cooperate because it dries too fast. Let me see if I can get it. Here we go. Just a bunch of horizontal strokes over that same spot is all I'm doing. Well, here, let's finish this. Put this color going over this way, like this. Let's put a little more red, get the right amount. I'm trying not to get so much red that it looks like a bunch of lipstick.
Catalia is asking, why is the brown color on the forehead?
Back up in here? Is that it? The shadow of the hair.
I think that's what she means.
Yes. Unfinished shadow of hair is what that is. Okay. Another thing I didn't really get to. Okay. put that lighter color, just gradients going from the darker to the lighter. And so when I'm doing these, I'm trying to get that original shape we talked about when we first put this together. That drops it. There's a low spot in the middle of the bottom lip. If I keep that in there, this will look probably better. See how I dropped the shadow down, made a low spot in that lip. And I'm going to bring this up and bring this up. Let's put this in there. Make that corner not as far because the mouth is turned. So these are little things that you don't even need to worry about if you're not a regular face painter, just fun little details to add in. I'm taking the corner of the mouth further over because the angle of it, so you're just kind of bringing it in that way. Then I want a good gradient on the teeth so that they go deeper. You know, I don't want those teeth to be too bright at the corners. I was looking at a video game my son was playing, and the animated characters in the video game had bright teeth all the way to the corners of the mouth. Notice that I put these gradients where the teeth get darker, and that causes the mouth to look more natural and 3D. Okay, now I think what are you seeing, Camilla? Any last things that need to be done to it? Let's change this brown spot on the forehead.
Yeah, that gradual, yeah.
Let's do this. We're going to use this color. Here, I accidentally put black on there. I didn't need to do that. Let's put this on right here with some of the more red of the two colors. This is a shadow of the hair.
What are you going to paint next week? Are you still in the detention center painting?
Right now, I'm just out in a local housing community here in Flagstaff, working on a couple of different murals. One is painting bricks busting out of some plaster in a wine cellar. One of them's painting that landscape behind a train set. So, I mean, people have all kinds of fun ideas, you know, and they've got some
money we want to see
on fun. Yes, I need to take pictures. I'll do that. You know, I just get so busy with multiple projects. Always doing a lot of things.
Do you have work all the time? It seems like it.
Yeah, I do. Always have
Nice.
work. It doesn't always pay real high. This is a small town, and if I want to stay local, that comes at a price. Staying local in a small town. So I get a lot of income from doing this on the internet, doing things. This is a big help, but it's a happy life. I love it. I love being local. I love my small town life. I'm not much of a big city person. No. You know, not long term. Okay.
Yeah, I have a commission job next week for the first time in a mural job next week.
Okay,
for
cool.
The first time in first time in 7 and 8 months. I don't know why I haven't had anything to do for such a long time.
Well, it is like that, isn't it? It's like, it seems like it's always in waves. When people want things done, I noticed that too. Okay, so that's a shadow of the hair on the head is what that is.
Yeah.
It kind of needs a gradient. Let's do a gradient here. And without the hair, you know, I don't have very much hair in place to do a good job of showing that. But when I have, this is just like a sudden stop with that color. So if I go black and orange again to get the colors of this hair coming down, you know, we're going to put orange on both sides and make this forehead get gradually darker. Then it'll look like it's going. Gradients are what cause something to gradually go into or out of a shadow. That's what they do. Gradients make something change its depth gradually.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go like this. Take a little more black, put it in the middle. That's the darkest spot. And then I'm going to get brighter as I come out away from that dark black middle. Use my orange right here. Man, I'm telling you, I'm such a sucker. Anybody could say anything about this picture. What about that? What about that? And
Yeah.
Like, yes, that I have to do it once you point it out to me. So have mercy on me. Have mercy. Don't point out the flaws anymore. No, I like it. I enjoy
I have a hard time stopping as well when this has to be fixed. I'll do it tomorrow. No, I'll do it now. Because
no, just do it now. There you go.
It's just too annoying to let it go.
It does make you more productive. You know, with
does.
that mindset, it causes you to do more in a day, but it can also cause stress. So, we need balance. Okay, so I just kind of brought the shadow down real quick version of it, bringing the shadow down there.
That looks
the corner
nice.
of the eye is kind of bothering me. I want to bring the corner of the eye down a little bit lower too. It kind of swoops up, and I don't want that. Eyes, when I do eyes, I always remember the up and over and up to do eyes. It's a good way to just map out eyes real fast. Up and over and up. You see me doing that in videos. The top eyelid is up and over, and then the bottom eyelid is over and up. And so I just remember that pattern, and it helps me to remember the important angles. It starts to look not human, as we were talking, when the bottom eyelid is curved more than the top eyelid. It starts to look less human, like something else. Okay, what do you think? Can we stop here, Camilla? Did we make enough progress for today? It's definitely an unfinished piece.
I think we can.
Yeah. So hopefully this was informative, just having some fun painting this person from imagination as an exercise. I didn't get down to the neck, but hey, the neck doesn't look terribly awkward. Just looks unfinished. That's all.
We can't see the neck right now, so.
You can't even see. Oh, I'm zoomed way in. I forgot that I did that. Yeah. But gosh, that face got so much more natural looking in the course of this video. Wow,
yes. This is so much better.
I was just now putting some strokes on this, like this. Let's put a few. Just a quick impression of some beautiful, brilliant red hair. Let's go kind of over the hair a little.
Yeah.
Like this. I like to do the dark color and then put the bright curls into it. Like
yeah, I find that really helpful to start out with the darkest parts.
Okay, you like that too. Yeah, I mean, it's my preference. It seems easy to like build those highlights out of it. It's a pretty easy way. I want to make sure I get plenty of room for a brain in there. It's easy to, if you're not familiar with common proportions, I started this by just doing the bald head and putting the eyes near the middle. And that helps me to get enough head on top of this to look ordinary. So you get a kind of a strange look if you accidentally make the top of the head too small, which I've done. If you do it, don't feel bad. I did it on a portrait for a friend. I'm not proud of it. But we learn. Let's put a few of these. Look, just the black and orange is kind of fun to play with and do hair. Just doing this crazy red hair coming down. That's fun. All right, let's do a couple more little bits of this. Oh yeah, that's cool. Boy, I would like to have hair like this. If I had hair like this.
Yeah, me too.
I'd be growing it long, and I'd be playing a lot more guitar.
But you could get your hair long. I mean, you have such
it's
nice
not gonna look
tight
like this.
hair.
Actually, I did. I've shown old pictures. I think my brother had fun showing them on a live stream of me with the mullet. I had a long mullet back in my young teenage years.
Oh, you had the Rasta hair?
Well, a mullet is when you have, they make a joke, say business up front, party in the back. You keep it short up here and you make it long back here. It's
okay, we call it German hair here in Denmark. That
German
haircut.
German?
Yeah, German hair.
German. Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of Germans apparently in the 80s, I think, were having that haircut.
Okay. Nice. Okay. So that is my method, my gradual method, doing a face just from imagination. Of course, there are a lot more things that ways this could be improved for sure. You know, it's a gradual process of sculpting. So, you know what this reminds me of now? It's almost like I subconsciously said I'm gonna do Garden of Eden. This is Eve.
Yeah, this is yeah. We just need the butterflies now.
The forbidden fruit is somewhere up.
Yes, you need the
Garden of
apple.
Eden. Yeah. That's funny. Okay, so
maybe
I'm
she's
trying
just
to
got
show-
thrown out of the garden.
well,
That's why she has
yeah.
tears in her eyes now.
Oh yeah, but she's all smiley.
Oh yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. So hopefully, you know, my goal here is to show how to turn the dials, not the right end product. You know, that's so much up to you, but you can memorize these parts. I just used very universal parts that are on thousands and thousands of faces. And it still could, you know, I still could increase the direct lighting. I could put hard shadows, kind of like this hair shadow I could do shadows right across the space. And you know, it doesn't have to change the face. You can actually do that successfully, keeping the likeness of the face. Once
you could just
have that sculpted.
You could put some shadows from the leaves on the face.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool to put shadows on there. We'll save that for a future video because I've got the rest of the day to get some chores done here. Yeah. This was a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you,
You're so welcome.
For
You're so welcome.
Comments.
Looking forward to Monday to show my new
Monday. Yeah. Oh, let me remind anybody watching. Yes, you can subscribe for free on superpier.com/muraljoe. That's where this is streaming from. So that's what Camilla is talking about. Monday, we're every week doing live streams like this from. All right. Well,
Monday
see you guys.
and Thursday.
Thank you, Camilla.
You're so welcome. See ya.